Good evening, everybody. I've been chatting for the last 2 minutes and forgot my mic was muted. Welcome to Friday Night 9 Ball. We are almost at the top of the hour. We had 15 in, and the event is now active. How many did we have? Anyway, we'll find out in a second. I think we had a full house. Oh no, we've got one buy, so we only had 15 in at the end of it. Yeah, I've been chatting away for 2 minutes. The question is Twitch working? Because Twitch had a security breach. Yes, Twitch is working, so that's fine. Well, what I was saying in the 2 minutes that went by while I was muted is I'm back to streaming on Twitch, back to YouTube, back to Facebook, and also I added Twitter last week. But having done Twitter, and it was so easy to set up, I went and had a look at the stream after it had finished, and the quality that it streams to Twitter anyway is so crap. I mean, it must be like less than 380 the quality, so that's going to get pulled after this week and dumped Twitter because it's absolute garbage in terms of quality. But anyway, that's that done. We are having a look at the bracket and see what we'll go into as the first match. Now there's an interesting match there, Popman and Tommy U. We've also got One Pocket Slim and Spectre Dawn, but I'm going to go in and see how Popman and Tommy U get on, if Popman's going to appear. Right, I've got some good news. Well, I've already given you the bad news. Well, the bad news is that Twitter quality is so crap, we're going to get rid of it. There's two bits of good news. The good news for me is I'm off next week. So I've got tomorrow and Sunday to work, and then I'm off for a full week. And then the other bit of good news is Steve's just been talking to me in the PM, and he's made the decision on what the next championship is going to be. It's going to be 8-ball world rules, which is overdue for its year's anniversary in terms of the tournament being played. I think it's well past a year, so it's going to be 8-ball, and the other thing is it's going to be on, where the hell's Popman got to? Is Popman actually in the lobby? It's going to be on the 10-footer with no jump cues, and oh, here we go. And I'll show you the tournament in a minute. Well, in a minute or two. So here we go. Welcome everybody. Anybody that I've missed. Cobra's there, Simax is there, Spectre's arrived. I took the background off that chat because it was obscuring stuff behind it, so I got rid of it. So it's now just plain white text, which should be simple enough if people are watching the stream to be able to read the chat. So here we go, race to 7, double elimination, Friday night 9 ball. The loser side's a race to 4. It's money ball handicapping, and in this particular match, player 1 is Popman, and he's getting a 5 ball as his extra money ball, which is a good enough handicap for Popman. He is more than capable of getting the use of that, so Tommy U's got to be careful, although there's not a great deal of difference in the ratings between the two of them. And Popman trying to jump in the billiard. Well, he's flipped to 1, which he'll take, and I don't think he's got the 2 though. He can kick it off the rail, but he can't pot it, or he can't see enough of it to pot it directly. Well, I had a game, whose room was it I went in earlier on in the week, and that was the first game. Who was in the room? I can't remember. But my God, I haven't played 9-ball for months and months and months, only cowboy, and going on to the 9-foot table with the change in the setup, absolutely hopeless. Well, that's a good shot there by Tommy Yu. 6 hanging over the pocket, and should be out because the 4's over the left middle, and it's easy enough to get back for that. So this is pretty much a gimme, this first rack. Just back across the table for this 5-ball at the top. Oh, he's made a duff shot there. He's played that all wrong. He's had top in the cue ball and it's spun to a halt. I think he was hoping it would spin to the rail and come out, but he had too much top, and that's actually spun and killed it. And that's nowhere near he wanted to be. He wanted to be over the right hand side. And now it's all of a sudden got very difficult. And we know what these banks are like now. And Potman's going to have a go as well. He might try the bank, but he's going to have to get it sweet if he's going to knock it onto this 6-ball. The problem with that, though, is you don't know where the 5-ball's going to end up. So he may well be going for the cut. So Tommy Yu should have been out, and it's a gift of a chance for Potman. And there you go. He only needs the 5-ball, of course. And the 2-ball's tracking. 5-ball's tracking as well. That'll get there, I think. No, just died on the knuckle. And this is going to be awkward. Who are you playing? I can't see who the hell. Well, you're given 6 and out to chase one around, who's obviously a guy that needs that sort of handicap. Yeah, he's a guy that plays a lot of tournaments, but he's got a lot to learn. So 9-ball goes down in the break. Potman's 2-0 up. 9-ball goes back onto the table, and he's got a shot in the 1. Now this needs to be just played a nice pace, because you don't want the cue ball to head down into this bunch of balls here, because he's going to end up locked out. And that's going to be really awkward. He's Chinese snookered over the 5-ball, and he's going to have to jump over the 7 to get to the 2-ball. So this is a toughie. That's a good shot. Problem, of course, well, the problem wasn't going to be the 3-ball, the problem was going to be the 4 to the 5, but Tommy Yu's going to have that issue, so we'll see how he deals with it. He's going to obviously have to come down the left side, that's the most open. If he comes down this right side, he's only got a narrow gap to get into. And that looks a nice pace. That was well controlled. Well, just a wee tad too much, but the only thing he's got to be careful with here is trying to do too much with the cue ball to hold it straight, because it's going to check to the rail and go up past the 9 and 7, and he can snooker himself. So he's given himself every chance here. That's a nice angle. And again, it's all about the pace, just running around the corner. Maybe just the one rail, it depends how he hits this. You know, it's going to go to, again, the pace is good. So Tommy Yu looking to get himself off and running. Now this needs a careful little shot here, because he doesn't want to. This could easily drop into this middle pocket. You just got to be careful. The angle's a bit dodgy. Yeah, he just stunned it. That's the safest manoeuvre. Now let's have a little check my doodle's working. So Tommy Yu gets one on the board, and of course it's winner breaks this tournament. Can he make the most of it? Get himself right back in it, and he's got a ball in the break, but we've got a proper mess down the bottom of the table here. He's got no real shot in the one, but he can certainly try and send this cue ball down in amongst these and bank that one back to, well, he's gone all out for the cut. The problem with that is that the cue ball's running, you've no real control over where it's going to end up. And Potman, well, this is really tricky. How do you fancy that as a gap to get down into and get on that 4 ball? Because there is room to get there, but it's very, very tight. Yeah, he's overhit it. Oh, he's going to be in trouble himself, I think. Yeah. Yeah, he's got a touch like a sledgehammer, Potman. That needed a bit more refined touch. And he's going to find himself in trouble any second as well, because that's not particularly great safety either. That cue ball should have been way up the table, and now he's going to be, well, yeah, he can't get, I'm just double checking he couldn't get behind the 8 ball there. But he's going to have to jack up big time. Well, he's not taking any sort of risk to do that. He's playing the deliberate foul. And now Tommy Yu this is not a particularly easy shot to stop Potman seeing the 4 ball, because the way I say that is because it's easy if you're snookered to kick off the rail and get into the 4 anyway, because the 4's going to stay somewhere near the 8 ball. So it's not guaranteed that this is ever going to be a potential 3 foul game, this one. Now, how's that look? No, Potman can see it. You know, and again, if he can check this cue ball. Now, what you need to do with this shot is maybe put a wee bit of left on it, or just find a gap and get the combo that way. Maybe I don't even think he needed anything to straighten the cue ball. He had it dead on. And now, again, Potman needs to get that touch a bit better, because there's a 6 and 7 ball there to be hiding behind. And again, he's run straight into it. Now, I wonder if Tommy Yu is going to push the boat out here, because remember, it's only the 5 ball for Potman. If Tommy Yu goes all out for this 4 ball, he's going to have to back it all the way. Because if he leaves this on, it's going to be fairly easy enough for Potman to get himself out. And he's going to have a shot at it. Not an easy starter, but he's got the right angle on this cue ball to fire up that way and come back down for this 5. Again, it's just about the pace. He's following the line. He's almost on the arrow. And that'll get him a 9.5 out of 10. Pretty nigh perfect. And it's an easy win for Potman, and that was the problem with that shot of Tommy Yu. He had to make sure the 4-ball was covered or he potted it, because as soon as Potman could get a sniff of the 4-ball, he's only got the 2 balls to win the rack. Well, this time there's no joy, so the immediate pressure on Tommy Yu. Open table. Now he's got an angle maybe to skim past that 9-ball, and he's overhit it. Again, the touch is way too heavy. The idea was right, because he could just miss that 9 and get to there. He was on the 2. Now, is he trying a billiard or something here? Because this could go wrong here. If he clips this 7, he could scratch. No, he's played the billiard. Needs to get lucky. And he has done. And he's also again got a nice angle. It's all about angles. The angle's perfect just to drop over for the 3. Well, he's come up inside the 4, and that could go wrong. And that was a really poor shot. I mean, he needed a wee bit of spin to take him low behind the 4 and 9 and get himself over there. There's no way on earth he should have been up there. Good evening to IQ2. And welcome anybody else that's turned up. And Tommy Yu, well, he dug a hole for himself there. That was odds on. He was going to have trouble having to get the jump shot to work. And he scratched, and it's another fatal mistake, because Potman's got an easy 4 and a pretty much straight in 5 to pinch another rack, and both of them from Tommy Yu errors. And that's the pressure that this 5-ball money ball puts on a player of Tommy's level, because he's going to have to deliver when he gets that chance and stop making mistakes and making it easy for Potman, because he's now 4-1 down. And Potman's not had to work for this. This has pretty much been gifted on a plate for him so far. And Tommy Yu, I think, has got partial cover. Yes, he has. He's got cover. And now he's got his reward. Potman's jumped off the table, so Tommy Yu has ball in hand, and straight away he's going to go for the quick kill, I think, is he? No, he's trying to run out. I thought he was going to play the combo there. Well, he's going to have to make sure he gets the job done here. Well, there's a bonus, the 2-ball going in, because again that could have ended up really awkward, hitting that as hard as that, because you don't know where the 2-ball's going to finish. So he's had a bonus there. So the big shot is from the 5 to the 6. Loads of room to get there. But I think he's dead straight on this 5. So it's all about the pace. Big draw. Big stunning draw. And that will do. The angle is perfect. He can just do a little stun and a draw off it if he wants. And now, how many times do we say this? Look at where the 9-ball is, and look at where the cue ball can end up. And that is just going to get by the middle pocket, and that will give him a good chance to get his second rack on the board. Oh dear, well, that is a big boo-boo. by Tommy Yu. Another gift for Potman. Well, Potman, I think he thinks Christmas has come early. He's getting all his presents in the one game here. And now it's a mountain for Tommy Yu, and Potman can only throw this away now. He's 5-1 up. He's not to do anything to get 5-1 up. And if he loses this match, he'll have to fall apart. Or Tommy Yu's going to have to play no miss from here on in. And this is a wide open table. But that's what happens when you know that this 5 ball is sitting there wide open, and you make one mistake and give your opponent a chance, and straight away Tommy Yu's gone pear-shaped in the 2. So with all these balls lying the way they are, he has got to be careful. He's going all out for this too. No idea where the cue ball's going to finish up here. Well, he's fortunate it's finished up there. I mean, this will pot. Charlie Bravo, I don't think I've ever seen him. He's beaten Brainfell out 7 racks to 1. That's, again, touched like a sledgehammer. That is way, way too heavy on that 2 ball. And it's given Tommy Yu a free go, which he cannot waste. And this is why Potman has to be careful. He doesn't want to be doing silly things like that, like playing duff safety shots and just making it easy for Tommy Yu to get himself back in this match. Well, this 3 ball isn't easy because it's a tight pass, shot pass to 5, and it's a thin back cut into the middle pocket, so whatever way he chooses, none of them are easy. He's going for the cut, and it's got to be thin. It's having to cut back. He's played that well. Now how's his luck with the position? A nice little bounce needed. That'll do. Now the problem, the 8 ball is not in the rail, but it's still awkward where it's sitting. But where the 7 ball is handy to get good on this 8 ball and just push it down the rail. The 9 ball in this bottom rail is easy as well, so it's a good layout to get himself out here, Tommy Yu. Now this is again one of these in-between shots. If he runs through, he doesn't want to go too close to the 7, so again he's got to watch his pace here with this 6 ball. See, the cue ball's always going to track towards the 7, and if you overhit that you end up getting too close with no shot. And now he's got too much angle in this 7 as well now, so the safest shot is to go up and down the table. He's trying to hold it, and you see the closer it gets to the 8, the more difficult it becomes. And now it's suddenly not so easy to get in the 9. Yep, that's what happens. You just get yourself out of line on one shot and then it all goes wrong. The Potman's going to have to run around here and avoid a pocket. And he should be on the 9. Perfect angle to run this ball. He's got to take the risk. He doesn't want to be tentative, and that's perfect if it doesn't scratch. That will do. And another gift by Tommy Yu. And all of a sudden, he's on the precipice here. Potman with the break. Nothing happening, I don't think. Looked a pretty dead one. The balls didn't really get moving. And look at where the 5 ball is. And that's the danger for Tommy Yu. He's going to have to deal with that 5 ball pretty sharpish. And he hasn't done. And what's more, Popman can play the draw stun off the 1 and billiard the 5 in for the match. That's a shot. It is most certainly on. Just come off that 1 with a bit of dig in the cue ball. Even if you go to the rail, well, he's not done either. He's had a proper slam at it and he's not played the shot. The shot was there. There was no semblance of control over that shot there, if that's what he was trying to play. But the 5 ball hasn't moved, which is even more important. Again, Tommy Yu has a really awkward 1 ball, but he needs to deal with this 5 pretty quickly, and he has done. He had to get rid of the 5. Of course, also the other thing that's a stumbling block is where the 3 ball is. It's not going anywhere fast. Now, whatever Tommy Yu does here, he needs to make sure he gets a decent safety in. And that's not really it, because Popman could have him in dire straits here. If he banks, let's have a look at this from his point of view. No, it's not quite as simple. There's not enough room to manoeuvre there. But he could just flick off that edge of the 3 and run in behind the 6 and 9. There's enough room to do that. He's gone all out for the pot. When he finished on the right hand side, the 4 ball was never going to give him a shot. With the 7 as a blocker. The other thing in Popman's favour is he only needs to the 5 ball, and Tommy Yu needs everything, and that 6 ball is dead right next to the 9, so everything favours Popman here. Although Tommy Yu should be running down into this 6 and 9 from this shot, but he's not got the weight. He's got the distance, but just not got the weight. Well, I would be brave enough to play this shot, chip the right edge of the 4 and get around the angles and try and get right down by the 9 and 6. But that's just as good a shot, because he's left nothing on and he's got reasonably good cover there as well. Now, is that going to get to a rail? Yes, it has done. It's just brushed the rail. And now that's not quite as simple with Popman. Well, he's fouled 8 ball. But like I say, Popman doesn't really need to panic here, because Tommy Yu's got all the work to do. I mean, the 6 looks... You've got to be at a certain angle in this 6 ball if you're going to try and billiard the 9 ball, and it's a bit too tight. And we'll see what Tommy Yu thinks, because I don't think, unless you get really good on that 6 ball, you're going to be hard pushed to play a billiard onto the 9. Let's have a look. Now that has given him as good a chance as he's ever going to get. That, it still might push to the jaw. No, he's played it well. That was excellent. So Tommy Yu lives again to fight another rack. Still trailing by 4. But of course, with it being winner breaks, if the break starts working for him and he starts running, he can get himself right back into it. And a couple of results have flown through. The match between Slim and Spectre Dawn. Well, Spectre Dawn again is like a greyhound out the traps. He's 7-1 winner against One Pocket Slim. And Semi-Pro has gone through. Certainly a closer match. 7 racks to 5 against Sergaresh. And I missed another one there. Larry against Christian. Larry's gone through 7 racks to 3. Well, Tommy, you can thank his lucky stars there that this 3 ball's gone safe, because again it's a dangerous time to miss a ball. And Potman's in trouble. This is ugly, this. He's going to have to get loads of spin in this, and a very little room to manoeuvre to chip this 3 ball, and he's hit it too softly, and he's fouled. So now, Tommy Yu has another go with ball in hand to try and chip another one back. Well, anything but straight on this 6 ball. He's got to sort of punch this in a wee bit. He doesn't want to leave himself bone straight down the rail on this 6 ball. Got to have an angle. And now it's gone awkward now. See how easy it is to get yourself in trouble in this game. Well, he certainly didn't want to be playing where the cue stick is there. It's right on the right hand edge of the cue ball. He wants to get right jacked up, to get right over this 7 ball. So again, it's all about just getting the pace right, and that's well played. Well, this is a gimme. Drop the 8 ball in, drop the 9 into the middle, and it's back to 6-3. Well, this time it was Tommy Yu got the bit of luck. He missed the 3 ball, and the 3 ball went safe. Potman was snookered. Didn't get through the snooker with a spin off the short rail at the top, and that gave Tommy Yu his chance, and he took it. And he's also got the break working here, because he's had a couple of balls go in. The 3 and the 6 have gone, and he's got a shot in the 1, but the 2's awkward. He's going to have to get the cue ball back up to where he is, roughly, if he can, to have a shot in this 2. Because that will allow him to get past the 5 to make the potting angle on it. Any other way of getting to the 2 is going to have to work miracles with the cue ball. He had the right idea, but that made the shot a lot more difficult. He had loads of inside English on it there to try and get there to the 2, but it makes the pot in the 1 much, much more difficult with the squirt and the cue ball. And again, Potman's got nothing easy. This looks not a bad shot. Oh, that kiss off the 2 there has done him a nice favour. Not a difficult kick, but of course we all know what happens here. You either get lucky or you leave it on. And once again, these balls are not too bad. Oh, look at where the cue ball's going here, and look at where the 1's going. Well, it's not, you know something, I think Potman can maybe pot that. No, maybe not. He's just trying to keep it tight. I was thinking there was enough of that 1 to just cut it down the rail, or up the rail as we look. Well, that 7 ball up top left-hand corner is very inviting to get some spin in the cue ball and try and get up that top corner of the table. It's a risky shot, but the reward could be very nice here if Potman's brave enough. Well, he's played the bank. The bank's worked. But he's going to have to scratch the paintwork off this 2 ball. Let's have a look and see if that'll pot. I think it will. It's really thin. And so it's just dropped in. Where's the cue ball going? Disaster. And Tommy Yu can work himself back into this match by another rack here. And like I said, not Tommy Yu, Potman said to do nothing really to get to a 6-1 lead, or whatever it was he had. I think it was 6-1. And now that he's having to do work, he's struggling. Not getting a running with the cue ball there and scratching has just given Tommy Yu a free go to pinch another rack back here. We could still have a match on. Nice little bounce off the bottom rail. Once again, Tommy Yu needs a half decent break. And I don't think he's got one. And I think that 1 ball, let's have a look. The 1 ball doesn't go. But there's a perfectly good safety shot here. Cut that 1 ball, skim off it if you can, and get down the table. Well, in the end, I don't think Potman really had a great idea where he was going there with the cue ball. Good evening to Semi-Pro. Now, I mentioned early at the beginning of the stream, for anybody who's arrived late, the next Virtual World Championships is going to be 8-ball. And the 8-ball world, it's going to be in the 10-footer and no jump cues, which was the same as it was on the last time it was played, although it was played in the pit stop table. It's going to be on the bigger 10-footer. So Tommy Yu, from 6-1 down, after giving all those gifts to Potman, has a chance to get right on his coattails here. Now, ideally, he just needs to skim past the 6. Oh, it's all gone pear-shaped straight away. Just what he didn't want. Looking for dead weight pace to get on the 4, and the line took him straight into the 6. And that's killed his chance. Now, Potman needs to keep this tight, because now the pressure is back on Tommy Yu. Potman only needing a 4 and 5. And again, Potman's played 2 duff safety shots in his last 2 visits. And that's it. That probably is the worst of the night so far. It just opened everything up here for Tommy Yu. Now down the short side and the left. Or maybe he's too straight. Aye, he's too straight. He didn't have enough angle there. So again, plenty of room to just pot this freely and get around the angles and back into the table for the 8. There's nothing difficult here. But the difficulty is Tommy Hughes not sighting the ball. And I don't think... See, Tommy Hughes probably not played on this new setup. And that's the one thing I found. I played in that challenge room for two or three racks and was absolutely hopeless. And Tommy Hughes, I think, struggling a bit as well. Of course, Potman now has to get all of these balls to win the match. And again, not a difficult 8 ball. It's all about where the cue ball finishes up. I mean, he should be always getting this 8 ball. Plenty of room to cheat the pocket. It's all about the pace and where the cue ball ends up. And that's given him the chance. And he just doesn't want to stud this in and scratch the cue ball. Well, the physics have changed. And you'll find there's a wee bit more fizz off the rails. And Potman goes through, but he fell over the line at the end. And he wins by 7 racks to 4. Right. Let's have a quick look at the bracket. In fact, wait till I just update this clock thing. We'll see that Chase won a round, is 3-0 up in the second round against Charlie Bravo. Spectre Dawn is 2-all with DJ Redo. Semi-Pro is waiting on the Potman result to update. And Simon, whoever Simon is, I've never heard of that one, is 5-4 up against Bankster. And Larry, of course, is already through waiting on the winner of that match. And Larry's, safe to say, is going to be given a decent enough handicap to either of those two players. Right, now, just while we've got your attention, guys, just hang on a minute. I was chatting to Steve earlier on. Where is it? Where's he done with the link? He was showing me the setup to see whether it was good or bad. So you can see it's 8-ball world rules. He's got it there for Monday the 1st of November. I don't know whether this is the final tournament and whether it is or isn't, but it's only in created mode at the moment, so it's not available to sign up. It's double elimination, race to 9, loser's side to 7, single final to 13. There's a 20-second shot clock for an 8-ball tournament. I never noticed that, with a 15-second extension. Monte Carlo's the location, the table's a 10-footer, it's a tournament table. Call shots on, of course, with 8-ball world rules. 3 foul is off and jump cues are off, and it's a lag for the break. I don't know what you think about the shot clock. The shot clock looks too short to me. That's the one thing I didn't notice. I think that should be a 30-second shot clock with a 15-second extension. Especially for 8-ball. I think that's fine enough. Right. There we go. So Potman now through to play semi-pro. DJ Redo is... Let's go into the Spectre Dawn DJ Redo match, because DJ Redo is getting 7 and out, and he's about to go 4-2 up here. Is it 2 extensions per rack? I never noticed that. Oh no, you're right enough. Aye, that's fine. I never noticed that. I never read that part. Yep. Aye, that's okay. 20-second shot clock with 2 15 extensions. That'll do. That's fine. No, as Hairpig pointed out, there's two extensions per rack of 15 seconds, so that's 30 seconds on top of your 20. That's fine. Well, Steve wanted it. Listen, see, before you start nitpicking, I had no say in what table it was going to be or anything. He only asked me what I thought about it. Because when he spoke to me the other day, he was asking what tournament should it be. And I said, well, it should, looking back on the 3 pages on the home page, it should either have been Cowboy or 8 Ball. Anyway, back to this match. Spectre Dawn, after racing away in his first match, has now come up against a bit of a problem here. He's given 7 and out to DJ Redo, which again is a generous enough handicap. And straight away, well, he's on the 3 ball. He'll have to play well to get on this 4. Cue ball could come across the table. He's missed the 3 because of it. Ran into the 8. If I hadn't run into the 8, he would have been on the 4, but he'd have been snookered, or he'd have been blocked by the 6 anyway. Now that means that Spectre Dawn has a shot in the 3. He's got a pretty much dead set combo in the 4-8 if he can get somewhere down the table. He's got the pace pretty good. Well, I don't think he could have played it an awful lot better than that. That's given him every chance of making this. But the 4 ball, he doesn't really know where it's going to finish. But he's managed to get the bounce off the rail. And is he too straight here? He's maybe going to try and pinch a wee bit here. No, he's playing in the short side. Well, he should be out now though. Well, there's ways to look at it. When it's on the 10-footer, what I said to Steve said, you know, I forgot it was on the pit stop table the previous tournament. And I said, well, if it's on the 10-footer, you know, it's going to be even more crucial that when you're given a chance with the balls on the table on a 10-footer, you've got a lot more room for manoeuvre. And it's those that manoeuvre the cue ball better that are going to have the best chance. So it puts the utmost importance on cue ball control with 8 ball and dealing with problem balls locked up, all that sort of stuff. So there's still all the strategy of 8 ball, but it is a lot more penal when you consider that there's an awful lot more acreage in the table. It gives you lots of room to manoeuvre that cue ball. And well, that kiss off or that bump into the knuckles actually worked out not too bad. Now, does Spectre Dawn fancy a very, very short jump over this 7? Now, what ball's that that's over the pocket up there? Is that the 4 ball? Yes, it is. Oh, that's a good shot. Absolutely no joy whatsoever in getting anywhere near the 2. He could actually be in a lot more trouble here. Well, he's tried to chip the edge. I think he's played it, and look at where the cue ball's finished. I think he's got away with that one. Yep, perfectly legal hit. And, well, there's a couple of results through. Simon against Bankster. Simon has won that match, 7 racks to 4, and Brain fell out. on the one lost side has gone all the way in a final rack decider, and he's came through against Simanx. Good evening to Mark. So this is about the third week in a row. I got home today, I was driving home, and there's a little shopping centre. It's about, 600, 700 yards as a crow flies from my house. And there's a roundabout, and off the roundabout is a fuel station where I usually top up when I need fuel in the mornings before I go to work. So I came home from Glasgow today, finished my shift, came home, and I thought, well, I looked at the tank and I thought, right, well, I need to get topped up. And I usually put £30 in it, and that fills the tank. I don't go to the bare. I don't go down to the grunge at the bottom of the tank before I fill it. And so I goes into the fuel station. I thought, oh, aye, it's open. Got in, every bloody unleaded pump was shut off. They'd no unleaded. So again, I had to go down to where I used to work at the retail part in the centre of the town, or just slightly out of town anyway, where Asda is and Curry's and everything else, B&Q. It's a big fuel station down there. So it goes down there and it's empty. There's one car sitting at a pump, and I drive in and every bloody pump's open. They've got everything you want. And I'm thinking, this little one up the top of the town, it's bloody empty. And the big one, where you think is a lot more busier, because it's only a matter of yards off the motorway. And yet it's got all the fuel you need. Crazy. So again, for latecomers, the next Virtual World Championship is going to be 8-ball world rules on the 10-footer. Meanwhile, Spectre Dawn's got the match back all square. DJ Redo, though, at the table, with the table at his mercy. Well, that's to be expected, of course, with the volume of traffic and the amount of people down there. But what's puzzling me is how one fuel station can be totally gutted, and yet a bigger one, with more traffic going through it, has got no problem whatsoever. Now, how's he going to get lucky on this 6? Yes, he is. That will do very nicely. And this 6 ball just needs to be dropped in, because I think he's running away from the 7. So you either go for this 100% or you just drop it in. Oh, I would have no doubt that the bigger storage tanks, but I mean, it was like night and day. You know, the only thing they had in the one I normally go to is diesel. Which is why when I drove up to it, I thought, oh, everything's fine. You know, I think the previous week I went, all the cones were out, they had nothing. It was totally shut down. Well, DJ Redo back in the lead, ball in the break. What's went there? The 3 ball, no shot in the 1. But he's got to get that cover. And has that 1 ball gone far enough? I don't think it has, or does Spectre Dawn think he can get there? Maybe not. No, I don't think he can quite get there. He's went for the bank up and down, that works. Well, if he's going to pot this, he's going to have to jack up and bend it around at a nice pace to try and get it in, but he might be getting out the old jump stick. So there was a major security breach at Twitch, and if you're a streamer, the only way you knew there was a problem is you get an email through from Twitch saying, we've changed all of your stream keys. You know, for people who stream to Twitch with OBS and things like that, you have to put in the stream key that gives the software access to the Twitch channel. And the email was telling you, oh, we've changed all your stream keys. We're not telling you why, but we've done it. And then, of course, it all comes out in the news. Luckily, because I'm streaming to Restream, I don't have to bother with that hassle. What link was this? Did I not post a reply? I think I saw that on my phone in the canteen in the morning. What was it about again? Aye, was it not about Twitch? Aye, well, I answered you. I posted a reply, yes. As I say, it doesn't affect me, because I had already bailed out of what you call it anyway. And I only had $7 in the bank. So Spectre Dawn, ball in hand, should be out to square the match. And another result through. Oh, Tommy Hughes struggled. I think Tommy struggled with the table. There is a difference if you've not played. Certainly, I haven't played for months and months, and I found it a different touch. And Sergresh has gone through by 4 racks to 1. And Spectre Dawn, well, I thought he would have been out there. I was too busy reading the results there. I missed what he did. Well, that's going to be wide open now for Spectre Dawn. Another result through. Chase One Around has beaten Charlie Bravo, 7 racks to 1. Whoever Chase One Around playing against now is going to be getting a handful of balls as his handicap. He'll be getting 6 and out, 5 and out. Doesn't matter who he ends up playing, and that's always a very dangerous handicap, no matter how good you are. Well, of course, you could play awful. I just found it, I mean, as I say, I went into a challenge room earlier on in the week, and I don't know whether I couldn't sight the ball. That's partly the thing to blame. But it's you know, it's like, you know, on any new sort of table somewhere, it's finding the way to the table and that sort of thing, and what the rails are doing. And I got well out of the way. I think I played 2 racks, pinched one, and then gave others away, and then knew my limitations and headed out. So Spectre Dawn is back all square. How's the break going to work for him? Pretty good. 5 ball on. It's gone in. Something else has gone in. What went in there? The 5 went and the 6 has gone. Shot in the 1. Now, where's the problem ball? Well, the 4 ball isn't a problem if you ended up down here on it, but it's a problem from anywhere else. So, Spectre Dawn's having a look. He's on the 2. If he comes up the table, he can be on the 3 that way. He could try and come back this way. And I don't think he's potting the 4 from this side. And he's entirely the wrong angle on the 3. He's going to run into the 7. This is going to have to be a spectacular spin off the 7 if he's missed the 7, which is a bonus. And he's given himself a half chance here. It's another toughie, this one. But It's going to be 1, 2, 3 rails. Well, he's gone for the draw. And that's well played. Just gone a wee bit more than he would like, but again, as long as you've got a chance and a shot. Spectre Dawn has battled back and almost on the hill. And he is now. So 6-5 up with the break. Well, it's a dry one. And no shot for DJ Redo. And he can't really push up the table because he's going to leave the one ball anyway. Well, that was again just a bit of a hit and hope you get lucky that you don't leave anything. But Spectre Dawn can have a cut at this one. He'll run into the 6. Ideally, he would want to hit this 6 ball full in the face to stop the cue ball squirting away anywhere it's gone. Not in a great line. Again, entirely the wrong angle to get up for that 3 ball. So if you're going to go for this, you're going to have to go that way, that way, that way, and that way, or somewhere down that line to get on the 3. The angle's there to do it. The path is there in the gap. Something along those lines. And that is commentator's eye perfect. How about that, guys? I mean, you cannot draw it any better than that. Perfect. So, Spectre Dawn, well, he should be home and dry. No, I've drawn the cue ball path. Because it's the cue ball you have to get onto the next ball in this game, in case you didn't realise. That was the path the cue ball was going to go. Not the bloody object ball. The object ball was the ball that was on that he put in the hole. Anyway, commentator's eye done it again. I think he's a bit straight here. Yeah, he's just having to run it with a wee bit of spin. No, I was only interested. I mean, I was giving him the object ball. I was more interested in the path that cue ball was taking. Anyway, Spectre Dawn, I think, what was he, 4-2 down or something? And he wins out 7-5 in the end. And there's loads of results come through. Loads and loads of them. Where the hell are we? Yeah, anyway, just a recap. The next Virtual World Championships is that one. It's the 8-ball world rules. Double elimination, race to 9, loser side race to 7, single final to 13, 10-minute timeout, blah 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 blah, 20-second shot clock with what I didn't notice earlier on. There are 2 15-second extensions per rack. It's a 10-footer table, tournament settings, no jump cues. It's world rules, there's no 3 fouls, and that is about it. It's in, where the hell is it? Monte Carlo on that 10-footer table. Right, now we'll have a look at the bracket and see how far we are into the tournament. Change that clock thing. Right, so we've got Simon who's getting the 5-ball against Larry. Who's this Simon? Is this somebody that's changed their name, by the way? Because they're 3-2 up against Larry. Popman is 5-4 down against semi-pro. Or is that 5-1? Yes, it's 5-1. DJ Rido's just, sorry, Spectre Don's just gone through to play chase one around, and of course Spectre Don's given 5 and out to chase one around. Let's go in and see this this Simon person. Who the hell is this? I've never seen them. That's somebody in a different name, I'm thinking. Especially when I've never seen them before and they're rated champion. I'll tell you something. Let's have a wee look and see what's going on here. Let's have a look at their profile. Been a player since 2012. That's somebody that's changed their name. A player since 2012. That's a name change. Whoever that is. Now, sometimes, depending how soon they change their name, if you go back far enough, you'll see their original name. Maybe not. Well, they must be on when I'm not on, because I've never seen them. Put it that way. Whoever Simon is, but I'm pretty certain it's somebody under a different guise. Anybody get any idea who this is? Anyway, why am I paying so much attention to that and not any attention to the match? Let's see how he plays. Well, we're 3 racks all. Or do you think it's Shooters Pool Pro? It's certainly not. It's certainly not what you would say is a class as a newbie. Well, what is he? A 2052 rated player. Aye, because Shooters Pool Pro was from the UK, wasn't he? I think he was. I think he had a UK flag. Could well be. So Larry giving away the 5 ball at the table. And, well, he's going to need a nice, where's the cue ball going to end up here? I think he's okay. He's got a nice little angle to stun across for this 7, but not to go dead straight on it. Cardinal Sin is dead straight in the 7. Well, now he's got to go 3 rails here, Larry. I don't think he wants to. Does he want to risk drawing off this across the table? Good evening to Slim. Good evening to Hairpig, Cobra. Who else did I miss? Bedhead. Oh, he's going to draw off this. He's playing a soft draw. That's not a bad result. Bit high. A bit kind of bedheadish, but not severe as a bedhead cut, but it's still a tester for a 4-3 lead. And semi-pro, a comfortable win against Popman by 7 racks to 1. And Larry with the lead and the break. He's got a ball. How's his luck with the 1 ball? Well, it's coming into line. I think he's staring down the barrel in this 1 ball, or pretty much so, for a starter. And, well, he's got 2 problems. The first one is that 8 ball's going to the jaw, just going to the point. And the other problem, if we got past that one, is the 4 ball is going nowhere. So big problems here for Larry. Well, he can certainly get into the 3 ball if he wants. He's going to have to get lucky though. And he's missed a hit. I do believe he must have played to get the hit in that 3 ball there. He might have just played for a billiard though, like this. But how's he going to get on the 3 off this as well? Well, I said it was going to the point, Larry. You obviously aren't listening to the stream. It was never going to go in that 8 ball. But it is now. But Larry's got a lifeline. Because that, again, the 4 ball isn't going anywhere. Now, if you chipped the 4 and chipped to 6 off the short rail, you might be able to knock it in along the rail, but that's probably clutching at straws to get something like that to work. As you're trying to draw off this 3, is you get enough room to punch this in and spin across and get some sort of hit? Yeah, I think that was a sort of idea he had, but he never got anywhere near the pot. I think because he was trying to do too much. He was trying to change the laws of physics, Captain. And Larry's locked him up behind the 7. Now, as long as that 4 ball stays where it is, I mean, it's work for somebody to deal with it. I don't know whether that's the line to get to the 3 ball though. No, that's nowhere near the line. I mean, even from this end of the table where he was aiming was nowhere near the line to get near the 3. But this is the interesting shot. How does Larry deal with this 4 and 6? Now, is he going to try and come down the short side to play the cut? No, he's trying to get the hit. How's his luck? Well, that's unlucky. He actually got it too good. He could have did with a half ball hit there with a wee bit less pace and he might have still had a shot. Well, he still has a shot, but it's a big cut in this 4 ball down this bottom corner. He's trying to run for cover, use the 6 ball, but I think the gap's there. And Simon has a chance to square the match. Of course, now that his money ball is gone, he's going to have to run the table. Well, he's got to get into the table or bottom end of that 7 ball, right into the table. Well, he can pinch a slight angle if he wants to go follow through. Well, I certainly wouldn't be doing that. I'd be running through. I wouldn't want to leave a cut at that distance. No, with my eyes, I wouldn't. I'd certainly run through and come down this side to get onto that 9. There was loads of room to do it. But he's got it done. And we're back all square. Well, that's a bit of a duff break. Has he got a break cue there? I never noticed. Well, we've got a 1-4 combo which is pretty tight. You need to have a good look at this before you play it, to actually look at where you're cutting the 1. And Larry's actually got it far too thin, but that's what he tried. He tried to get the cut and the chip onto the 4. Got it too thin. That's a nice little combo. And, well, again, there's a problem with the 7 ball and the problem with the 6. The 6 is tight past the 9. I mean, there's loads of room when you look right behind it. But how good a shot it is when you're sitting at this angle is a different story. And then, of course, if you were on that 6 ball like this, you could roll through for the 7 and then everything's easy. It's not quite as simple as that, though. There's work to do here. Nudge. Well, Simon wants to play it. What am I talking about? He only leaded the 5 ball, didn't he? See, somebody tell me, I forgot about the handicap again. But it does mean that it's 5-4 in favour of Simon. And again, I've not paid attention. Has he got a break cue? Or is he playing with the house cue as a break cue or something? Because everything's dead. Or did he buy one of those cheap break cues? Because there's no power in it at all. I still haven't noticed what break cue he's got, if he's actually got one. Well, you can see the push out has been played. And, well, there's half a shot here for Simon. Again, not the best of push outs. Larry was wanting to get to the bottom rail there. It's given it all the encouragement that Simon needs here to get started. And that's a good shot. There's no better satisfaction than when your opponent plays a weakish push out and lets you in. And when you only need to get to the 5 ball with a wide open table, this is a free go for Simon that he shouldn't have had. Yes, somebody, not naming names, but somebody said earlier this was your second account, semi-pro. I didn't. I mean, I had a sneaking. I mean, my sixth sense told me this was somebody else in a different name, and it was mentioned that it's what do you call it, Shooters Pool Pro, under the name of Simon now. And again, I've missed. Nobody's told me yet. I've missed what he's breaking with here because the brakes seem a bit soft. But anyway, it won't matter to him. He's 6-4 up. Larry's still kicking himself from his push out in the last rack because that's how he lost the rack. And Bankster has gone through on the one loss side, 4 racks to 2 against Charlie Bravo. And that's going to track in, and things going from bad to worse for Larry. Look at the table. This match should be over, provided that Simon can get somewhere on this 5 ball, and that's the only thing that's Larry's lifeline here, is this 5 ball. Now the 5 is sitting in not too bad a line on that 7. I mean, the combo can be made if you need to. And Larry's hoping that that's going to save him in this rack. So this is the one that's going to decide it, and he's not going to have a shot from there, I don't think. Or is he? Is he going to have a shot? Yes, he does have a shot. He can cut that down the rail, and he hasn't read the line, and Larry lives again. But is he going to have a shot? Not really. That's extremely tight. Sergaresh has gone through against DJ Riru on the one-loss side, 4-2. So results have come in thick and fast tonight. And this is a tester for Larry's survival, because if he misses this and leaves it on, he's down and out in this match. Where's the cue ball though, Larry? Well, that was it. And it's a gift. So Larry's last 3 shots have all went bad, worse, and even worse. That's how you can describe Larry's last 3 visits, because that's cost him the match. And Simon goes through by 7 racks to 4. So we're well on now. Where the hell are we? Oh, I need to get to the bracket again, don't I? Right, so let's see where we are. We've got Simon about to play semi-pro. Spectre Dawn. Well, Spectre Dawn is given 5 and out to chase one around, but you can see that chase one around with 5 and out is still way out of the depth, and that match looks all but over. Spectre Dawn should be getting the kettle on for a coffee, I would think. And on the one-loss side, we've got One Pocket Slim against Popman, and Slim's 2-1 up against Popman. Will nip in, and Popman is getting 7 and out, and that's another dangerous handicap against Slim, if Popman can get the use of it. Only the race to 4, remember. Well, this is going to be a hard push to have anything here. And now he's ended up in dire straits. Of course, easy enough to jump, escape, but how lucky is Popman going to have to be to get this safe? And there's the result that I thought was going to come through. Spectre Dawn has breezed through by 7 racks to 0. Meanwhile, Popman has got lucky, but then he's got unlucky again. But he can easily push that. I think if he can see the edge of the 2, he can push it to the 7. And has he hit a rail? Yes, he has. The 2 ball just brushed the rail and no more. Oh, Slim's having a look around. He obviously can't see the 2. He's looking for a line to get to the 2, and it certainly is there off the shop rail at the top. Well, that's not a bad result, by the way. I mean, it's obviously cuttable, but these are dicey down the rail. Need to watch that cue ball over towards the 9 though, because the 4 ball's the next ball. I think there's 3 balls gone. Now, did he hit that? Or did I miss him hitting it? Yeah, he hasn't even hit the 2, and that's a duff one from Potman. That's bad. And it gives Potman, Slim, a free go. Now, how tight is the 7 ball? No, it's well off the rail. Well, now Slim can just nurse this 6 ball in, or he can go around 3 rails. 1, 2, and anything but straight again, and that is 2 straight. Well, now he's going to be in the narrow side of the 8 ball with a dodgy cut here into this bottom left hand corner pocket. And he's just got into a wee bit too much. He's gone to that awkward square angle, and he could run and have no shot in the 9 ball here. He has to be careful. If he goes top side of the 9, he might not have that easy a shot. Needs to miss it. Well, he's got the shot now. Well, that all came about from Potman's miss, completely missing the object ball on that awkward shot in the rail. And Slim tidied up from ball in hand. Now 1 away. And a ball in the break. Well, 2 balls, the 5 and the 7 have gone. He's on the 1, and the only lifeline for Potman is the 6 ball. And that's pretty much dead set for a 6-8 combo. I don't think Slim is thinking about doing anything off the 4 ball. I think he's just trying to get in line here. When he pots this 4, to probably just come back up the table as far as he can on the left side if he can go over there. I don't think he's got much. Well, he has got an angle. He doesn't want to get too much into the cue ball because he could end up getting right in and just hitting the 9 ball here. No, he's trying to go the short side, play it up table, and he's pretty much got there. And he should be odds on to be out now. Again, dead straight. Softish draw, little bit of spin. And so 1 pocket Slim survives. And he wins against Potman by 4 racks to 1. Now, let's have a look. So Simon is, according to that, 1-0 up against Semi-Pro. We can see that Spectre Don's lying in wait for the winner of that match. And on the 1 loss side, we've got Brain fell out against Larry. And it's 1 rack all. Let's nip into that one. Larry at the table for a 2-1 lead. And Brain Fell Out's getting 7 and out. Again, is a dangerous handicap. I think it's dry. It's dry, but a shot for Brain Fell Out. Oh, he's never going to get there with that. He's chickened out there. Well, every ball's there. The only problem is the 3 ball and Larry being stuck to the rail, because he's going to have to dig right into the cue ball and get some spin and try and get a nice kiss. And that ain't it. And this is dangerous, like I say, when it's 7 and out and Larry ends up hooked like that. Brain Fell Out should be ready to pounce. He should be on his toes, because he may well have a great opportunity here to square the match. But Larry's got a hit, but he's not got it safe. All the room in the world to get on this 5 ball. So this has to be just gentle, but there has to be some angle from that 5. Well, he's trying to come down and up. He needs to keep going though. He needs to keep running. Well, this will be a good shot. It's so thin, he's going to have to get into the bedhead territory with this cut. But once again, all the room to get on the 7. Total focus on the 6 ball, because the cue ball does its thing. You've got to have a shot in the 7 off this. But he's missed the pot, and Larry survives. There's a big fight tomorrow night, isn't there? What's his name? Wilder and what's his face? And I'm at work tomorrow morning. Not tomorrow morning, Sunday morning. So I'll miss the damn thing. I'll probably hear it on the radio when I get up to go to work. Deontay Wilder, what the hell's his name again? Well, it's fight number 3 between the 2 of them. And I seem to have forgotten the other guy's name, the Brit. Somebody tell me who it is again. So Larry 3-1 up. The 3 and the 8 have gone. Shot in the 1. And he's content to leave the cut in the 2. Because that will get him out into the table. It's a testy one to start though. He hasn't really got there. Tyson Fury, that's the name I was trying to think of, yeah. Aye, that'll be. Where is it again? Is it Las Vegas? Because if it is, it's going to be 4 o'clock in the morning before it starts. And I'll just be getting out of bed at that time, so I'll listen to it on Radio 5 while I'm getting my breakfast, preparing to go to work on Sunday morning. It usually is 4 o'clock in the morning our time if it's in Vegas. Well, again, the objective here is to just stun and spin down past the middle pocket and not scratch and not hit the point like that. Well, another one that's going to test Larry. It won't be on YouTube. It won't be on YouTube until a good number of hours after the fight, when somebody will post it. Anyway, Larry's gone through by 4 racks to 1 against Brain Fell Out. And now we can jump into the winner's side match between Semi-Pro and his alter ego, Simon. I watched a bit of that, what was the other fight that was on the other week there? Anthony Joshua. I'll tell you, he needs a good shaking down. Joshua couldn't handle the southpaw. I mean, the one thing you do when you're I mean, if he's ever seen Rocky, what was it, Rocky 3 or whatever, and Mick had him training up to fight southpaw to spring a surprise. Well, I mean, if those guys had done their homework. Yeah, I saw some of it, but I get bored watching him. Anthony Joshua, I mean, the one thing you do in your training is surely you end up getting a lot of sparring partners in that are southpaws to try and work out a way how to deal with it. And I don't think he did much schooling on it at all. And he was found wanting severely. Well, that's him. That's him went right down the ratings in terms of chances of unification, belts and all that sort of stuff. That's him now in 2 defeats as a pro, Anthony Joshua, and both times he's lost the title because of it. So, Semi-Pro goes into the lead, 3 racks to 2, and Simon, player 1, is getting 7 and out. And once again, it's a dangerous handicap to deal with. You've got to be careful. Oh, a poor one from Semi-Pro. Is he going to get covered with a 5? Yes, he is. But he didn't want to bring that one ball out like that. But this has got a good chance of getting kicked in. I mean, you could try and play a long jump shot, but... well, he'll take that as an end result. Well, Semi-Pro didn't pick the line at all. And although it's ball in hand, Simon's looking for a way to pot this one and break out the 2 and 9 here. He's trying to use the right hand side of the pocket and just get a little chip. And that's worked out very nice. See that he was using what line he could get there just to push that ball into the right side of the pocket and create the angle to run the cue ball into the 2-9. But there's still another issue ahead, and that's the 6 ball, because that ain't going anywhere. I mean, again, there's a possible 6-9 combo, but how do you get a cue ball down there to play that shot with the 8 ball sitting where it is? So Semi-Pro may well still get a chance here, especially where Simon's having to shoot the 4 ball from. Well, if that cue ball had run on another half an inch, Semi-Pro was locked up. And I'm beginning to yawn quite severely. It's old brain shutdown mode on a Friday night. It's get to bed time. Well, that was nowhere near an easy shot. But that's now freed up the 6 ball. That's probably the most important thing that's happened there. Don't know whether the 6 goes past the 9. No, it doesn't, but we can see obviously where it will go. I just got to get the weight right, get as far over to the right as possible to play the cut onto that 6 and 8 over the pocket. That needed to keep coming across. Nice and gentle, because you don't want the 6 ball to bounce away anywhere. What was I thinking about? He was getting, he's getting 7 and out, wasn't he? So we're back all square, 3 racks all. Simon with the break in rack number 7. Breaking from where the cue ball appears. No, he's not. And the 6 has gone. What looks to be a thin cut in the 1. Now can he squeeze it in past that 2? No, that's very tight. That might get locked up. No, he's just playing the push. Probably the wise move there. You know what I need? Well, that's a good bank, but that is unlucky. Cue ball squirting away into the top left. I know what I need. I need a cup of coffee, and I need it quite bad. I need a caffeine hit. Trying to get the bottom side of this 4 in a reasonably straight line now. Now this could go wrong if he's going to run through. I think he's coming back off the 4. And the reason it could go wrong is he could brush off the 5 and end up behind the 8. And that's not worked out much better though. Good evening to Sid. In the end he's played a safety, but he hasn't got the cover. The Semi-Pro looking at the line on the 5 ball, he can't see enough of it to cut it. He's just trying to use the 7 as cover. Where's my B button went to? And that'll do it. That's a good shot. It's good because for him to get a line to chip the 5 that side, he's going to have to jack it up and spin it softish and slow to the rail to hit it. But all you're going to do is push the 5 down. Well, he's missed the line altogether, because I don't think there was any way to get to the 5. And all he's done is brush the 7, giving Semi-Pro a free go. Well, I think what I'll do is I'm going to bail for a couple of minutes and get the kettle on for a cup of coffee here, because I need something to kick, restart the system here before I start going semi-conscious here. So Semi-Pro is going to go into the lead by 4 racks to 3 in this race to 7. I'll be back in a couple of minutes, guys. Right, I'm back. I've got my caffeine fix. There will be some slipping because be warned. I'll wait till it cools a little bit. How are we doing? 5-4 to semi-pro. Well, 3 balls a stopper. Got to get the length of the cue ball, and that looks pretty good. That will do very nicely indeed. Well, he missed it on the way up, and it's all gone wrong. So, well, draw off the 1, pot the 3, but run back up the table on the right hand side would seem to be the plan, because if you pot the 4 that way, then you're coming down this way for the 5. But now he's going to have to stun across for the 5 if he's got enough angle. Let's see how he goes. Well, he's going to play from the top side, so he's going to have to get across to this side. So he has to get past the 8 and 9. And if it bounces too much like that, he's going to have to bail out with the jump stick. Again, just getting the wrong line. Had he come down past the middle pocket on the right side of the table, it would have been much easier to get to the 5 off the 4 into the left middle. Well, that's a good escape. Managing to get the cue ball back into play. But a dicey little cut in the 6, because again the cue ball wants to just come straight across into the 9 and 8 here. So he's got to try and work the cue ball a wee bit. And where's it going to end up? And the answer to that is nowhere. But he's got the lock up. He's got to get this push through far enough though. And Larry has gone through against 1 pocket slim, 4 racks to 2 in the 1 lost side. So Larry's surviving. And this looks to have a nice pace on it. Needs to just check up here. Oh, he's going a wee bit too far. And it's one of those ones, we see them every week. Because when that cue ball starts running, there's always 6 holes where it can fall into. So it's a gift for Simon to square the match. Needs the 8 and 9 this time. No, sorry, he just needs the 8, doesn't he? Because it's 7 and out, not the 7 ball. And that is why 7 and out is a very, very dangerous handicap. Especially if you start making unforced errors late on in the rack. You're doomed to failure when that happens. That 4 ball going to drop. Yes, it has done. Shot in the 1. Now the 2. Well, that 2's tight. I mean, that's not going into the middle. Let's be fair. So he's trying to get behind it, and that'll do it. But the old stun, the firm stun, offline, always rattles. They never go in at that pace. And semi-pro now either has to find a gap between the 6 and 8 or the 8 and 9, or at worst the 9 and the bottom rail. And in the end he's done neither, because he's hooked himself behind the 8 and he's missed the 3. He's taken his eye off the ball there. Now I don't think this can cut. This is too tight to the rail, and look at where he is on it. I mean, how does he get away from this to not leave the 3 ball on? That's the question. Because if he plays a double kiss, he's just going to leave it there, and semi-pro is going to have a go at kicking it in. That's always what was going to happen with this shot. And he's got the gap as well. So that shot from Simon, everything was leading up to him playing that sort of shot, and to just leave the 3 ball where it was always going to give semi-pro a sort of 9 out of 10 kick bank or kick in on that 5 ball. Hasn't quite get into that enough. Didn't want to risk going too close to the pocket for fear of scratching again. But again, a little controlled draw shot to the rail, back into play, sitting plumb in the 9 and on the hill. Well, the ball has dropped, and again, the 1 ball over the corner pocket, the 6 ball has gone, sorry, 7 has gone, and a little spin off the rail and a chip in the 1, or he can bank up and down. Just to the left of the 3 ball is the line, and he's got a fair margin of error as well. Now, can he get out for the 2? Yes, he can. Well, he's got to stay in the bottom side of the 4 here. He can't go above it. He doesn't want to be doing that. He wants to make sure he's at least the bottom side. Well, he's going the top side of the 4. And now that's left him in a bit of a dilemma here. He's going to have to travel the cue ball if he wants to get on that 5 in a decent position. And that's going to bounce. That'll do. Had he stayed the bottom side of the 4, like from here, he wouldn't have had that problem. He would have just rolled through for the 5. But semi-pro, 2 shots away. And it's semi-pro that goes through against Simon, who moves over to that 1 loss side. Semi-pro wins by 7 racks to 5. And what the hell's happened here? There was a bit of a delay. Right. So, where are we now? Well, we've got a hot seat match about to be played between Semi-Pro and Spectre Dawn. And on the 1 loss side, we've got Sergresh about to play Simon, who's just moved over there. And Larry will be given 5 and out to chase one around. Larry's 2-0 up. And in all honesty, he should be through that match fairly comfortably, I would think. In the meantime, though, we're going to get ready for the semi-pro Spectre Dawn showdown to see who's going to get through to tonight's final. And we'll head in there, and semi-pro arrives. Spectre Dawn shouldn't be that far behind. I'll have another slurp of my coffee. That's given me a kick in. Oh, lovely. So here we go for the lag. Whoever's who, I don't know. Looks fairly even. Just slowing up in the bottom. And it's Spectre Dawn that wins it. And this is a scratch match, no handicap. Well, I think there's what went the 7 ball. And what's Spectre Dawn looking at here? Is he looking at pushing the 1 through the gap onto the 9? Yes, he is. He's played it perfectly. Excellent. Well, that's a quick way to get the rack over. Blink and you'd miss it. Seven goes in, no shot in the 1. Now, where does he run for cover? Well, he doesn't think he can run for cover and keep it safe, so just playing the push out. And Semi-Pro doesn't like it, gives it back to Spectre Dawn, who just rolls up for the double kiss. So somebody's going to have to be brave and try and get away and find cover somewhere. And Semi-Pro trying to block the line out, which he has done, and that's now given Spectre Dawn a problem. And he's got the hit in the 1, and he's got it safe. And what's more, he's got Semi-Pro snookered as well. Not difficult to give it a kick off the rail behind it. Now, this is a shot where it can go wrong, where you kick it hard and the cue ball runs and scratches, but if he hit that right in behind, he could have ran and maybe knocked a 5 in. But he got it too thin. I don't know whether he had enough room to get in there, but that's the kind of shot that can happen. Whenever there's a ball, say there's a ball there like that, and you go down and you kick it full in the face, very often the cue ball will run in. And if there's an object ball near the pocket, you can use it. You can use that shot to actually roll the cue ball onto the object ball and pot it. Get yourself out a hole sometimes doing that. Well, Larry comfortably through as expected. Well, not the best of efforts to keep it safe by Spectre Dawn there. It's given Semi-Pro his chance to try and level it up. Now this one here, a bit of top and a bit of left if you want to come down that left side, or you think you've got enough room to work with, you don't need to put much on it at all. And this is just a little testy one, because it's that a slight awkward angle, and he's looking to just spin off the rail and miss the scratch, which he has done. Now, of course, we know where the problem lies here is potting the 6 and dropping through for this 8 ball. And it's going to have to be a draw. And this is where It has to be spot on either side. And that looks perfect. This is a little dabby kill draw shot. Like that, just to stop the cue ball leaking away way up the table. So it is the rack that ties it up. I don't think, well, the 4-ball might end up in. Yes, it has done. But I don't think there's anything there for semi-pro. Well, if he's going to dig out the jump stick, he's got to try and stay in the table to try and escape this at such a short distance. He could, of course, push, which I think he's decided to do. Well, this is it's a 1-ball rack. This, whoever gets the 1 ball should be out because they're all on. The 3-ball goes past the 5, plenty of room there. So it's about who gets this 1 ball. And semi-pro, I think, is going to have to kick here. And just hope he gets lucky, but he hasn't. He's scratched, so semi-pro has given Spectre Dawn a free go. And as I said, Spectre Dawn should be out. Whoever gets the 1 ball. Well, this is now, again, a slight problem. Now he can stun into this firm, but if he gets this any slightly bit offline, the 3 won't go. Because he's going to try and get this cue ball back out for some sort of shot on this 5 ball. So he's got to play it firm. And I mean, can he avoid hitting the 5 at all? Yes, he can, and he's managed to hold it. That was well done. And he's going to have to use the 8 ball as well, I think, here. Just to hold for the 6. But he's hit the other half of the 8 ball. He's hit the right side of the 8 ball, which has now got him very awkward in the 6. Now, if he just plays this plain ball to come over by the 8 ball to get on the 7, he's got to avoid the middle pocket, but he's hit the 9 and went in the middle pocket, and would you believe it, from having that gilt edge opportunity there from the scratch by semi-pro, semi-pros get out of jail. It's amazing how a rack can just turn right on its head when you've given it to the opponent. You've more or less conceded the rack, and all of a sudden Spectre Dawn gets a roll like that, comes chipping off the 9 and into the middle pocket. And semi-pro finds himself in the lead unexpectedly. And the 4 ball has gone. Cue ball was thinking about going as well. And no shot in the 1. Well, he has got a good safety shot on the 1 though, or he should be. I think, let's have a look from this side. Well, the problem is he's got to get the ball to the rail. Now he can push the 1 just past the 9. The danger with the cue ball is where it's heading if he does that. Yeah, he's actually played that not too bad, because that little chip in the 5 just stopped the cue ball running dangerously near to the pocket there, but he hasn't got the cover though because of it, nudging that 5 out the way. And now we're going to get a wee tactical battle, because there's two nice clusters of balls to hide this cue ball behind. Well, semi-pro, the only mistake he's done there is the fact that he missed, well, he's done two mistakes. He's missed the kick in the one, but he's chipped the three into play. And that is the coffee consumed. I definitely needed that. Now let's have a quick look up here. Well, that's taking care of the problem with the 7 ball, because he was always going to have a great chance that he was going to be on the 3. And now he needs another wee bit of luck here. And he hasn't got it. He was hoping to chip the 5 into play, and he's going to have to go for the bank. But the bank refuses to go in, and semi-pro has a good, well, I say good chance, it's a difficult shot to start with, but he could find himself 3-1 up here. Tough one to start off with, but if he hits this 9 like that, that'll give him every opportunity now. Shouldn't have any problem getting on the 7. And just a roll in the 8 down to the bottom right, and he'll be 3-1 up with an easy 9 over the other corner pocket. So this is a really unexpected 3-1 lead for semi-pro, because Spectre Dawn could have had the both of them. Into rack number 5. Plenty of movement, but none of them towards a pocket. But nothing left on for Spectre Dawn. Now, the shot here is inside left of that 1 ball. A feather edge with a bit of spin. Not, in fact, maybe not even any spin, just a feather edge, and come down table and try and run in behind a ball, get a little kiss or something. That's not bad. Because there is obviously the up and down bank here in the 1 ball, which Spectre Dawn had a go at, and he would of course had the shot in the 2, but there's your problem ball there. 3 ball is the issue. Well, Spectre Dawn can get a back across to there or somewhere like that, cut this 2 and drop down into the gap. The gap is there, even if he runs into the 6, that will not be a problem. And that has worked out very nice. And a nice little angle to work with on the 3 as well. And once again, with this shot, it's a bit, I mean, you could put a fair bit of left English on it just to check it down this left side, but you need to get bottom side of the 5 like that, just on that line, so that you can drop onto the 6. It always makes your life so much easier in any game by getting the right side of the ball to get onto that next ball. Because the less you have to start moving that cue ball and making the cue ball do things it's not going to do, then the easier your life is at running tables and doing sequences of balls. This is where it can go wrong, as I said. I was just about to say it. He had to be careful to get right across, well away from that 9 ball. And Spectre Dawn had just blown himself out the water there with that shot. How's the luck? It might not be too bad. If it dies in the rail like that, that's extremely difficult. It's just come off the rail, but this has got to be cigarette paper thin. Oh, he's fluked a 9 almost. And Semi-Pro has left he's left Spectre on no option here. He's got to go either all out for the cut, all out for the bank, and he's taking care of both in the one shot. He's taking care of both the problems in the one shot, and he's back to within 1. Four ball in, and I don't think much of a shot on the 1 ball. I mean, these guys go all out for these cuts though, just to stay at the table. If they see a shot and the shot's there to be taken on, they'll take it on most of the time. Well, he's taking the bank instead, which is even better. And Spectre Dawn is looking to get warmed up here, I think. Taking no prisoners. Well, he's dead straight now, so he's got to play the draw. I don't think he wants to be taking any liberties here other than just drawing back off it, and he hasn't got into it. He has not gone through the shot there. He needed to get that up the table. I mean, he can still cut the 7, and he'll bring the cue ball across the table. How much he can do with the cue ball to get nice on this 8, we're about to find out, and that's perfect. If anything, he's absolutely perfect. The slight angle up the way brings him out onto the 9. And Spectre Dawn is making a move because he's now squared the match. 3 racks all. This to see, remember, who gets through to tonight's final. And certainly 1 ball in the break, whatever one it was, the 3 ball. Once again, there is no shot though. Now, can he get enough of the 1 to bank it up the table and squirt in behind the 6 and 7? Well, no, he's gone all out for the bank again. And I think he might be lucky this time and got away with that. But Semi-Pro, I think he's made his mind he's going for the reverse bank. He's thought about it there, but I think he's better to run for cover. Again, a feather edge is the order of the day. And that's a shot I like, because he's got the cover with the object ball, although there is a line to get to the 1. Just about where Spectre Dawn's aiming right now, and he's cut it in, and that can always happen. Again, everything with that shot was controlled because it was a draw straight to the short rail and back out onto that 4 ball. Well, Spectre Dawn from 3 racks to 1 down. And let's be honest, to end up going 3 racks to 1 down. There probably was no one more surprised than Semi-Pro, because he didn't expect to be 3-1 up. But it looks as if Spectre Dawn is is going to, well, odds-on favourite to take this out here to get into the lead. And this time he has an angle, but he's again got to force this through or stun it firm to come back the way. And he's got out, he's got a line fairly straight. And this for the 4-3 lead. Well, if Semi-Pro wasn't already aware, he'll have to be on his guard, on his toes, and ready to fire if he gets a sniff. Because Spectre Dawn's not taking any prisoners, he is out for blood. Well, even though Semi-Pro's got a start here, has he gone too thin in this 2 ball? He needs to get a chip in this 3 ball. He needs to move something, because I don't think he's got any shot unless he does so. But got to be thin. Oh, he's going to end up in trouble. Well, no doubt he'll resort to the jump stick. Now, if he played this absolutely perfect, he could pot the 3, believe it or not. There's just enough room past the 5. But I think at the end of the day, all he was hoping is at least got a hit on it. I was wondering whether he'd gone far enough there to get the 4. I think he's just made it and no more. Well, I think if he had played what he was lining up to do in the first place, he could have potted that with a wee bit of spin. But Spectre Dawn resorted to the jump stick. That's such a close range. It was destined to bounce and hit something and go off the table. But it's Semi-Pro with ball in hand, and they're all on. And there's a result on the 1-loss side. Sergaresh has taken out Simon by 4 racks to 2. And of course, one of these players is going to end up joining him, or joining Sergaresh and whoever else is left over on that 1-loss side. Larry's one of them. Because that's where all the action is going to be. Whoever wins this match is going to be able to nip out, get a coffee like myself, take a little break, and get themselves and try and stay awake for the final. Because we are now 2 hours and 25 minutes into tonight's tournament, and it's been moving along fairly briskly. And we're back all square. Spectre Dawn's ill-judged jump shot escape being the reason he finds himself back all square. Gift wrapping a free go for Semi-Pro there. Meanwhile, Semi-Pro's break gives him the 5 ball, half a shot in the 1, and drop him through reasonably nicely on this 2. And they're all there, they're all on, and he should be in the lead. Now even that shot there, he's just gone a wee bit more of a line on this 5. So now he's sorry, not the 5, is it the 3? He's just got to hold off the 3, trying to run through into the gap. Well, he's hit the 7 and threatening to run out of line. And now he's back in play. Well, this is how you like them, just to roll down the rail. And nothing to do but leave the cue ball there for the 9. So semi-pro prevents Spectre Dawn from taking the lead. Spectre Dawn now having to chase semi-pro again. Well, that break didn't really happen. A couple of balls moved. One of them's gone in. I think it was a 5 ball. But not a great deal of movement in the rest of them. They're all pretty much stagnant up at that end of the table. No shot in the 1. He's trying to... Maybe he could brush the 1 and brush the 9. But then he's relying on getting cover behind the 7 or the 4 doing that. If he brushes the 9, it could push the cue ball in towards the corner. He's working out something different now. He's back to the first shot again. If he brushes the 9, well, he hasn't hit it as hard as I thought he might, to brush the 9 and hit the rail and go up behind the 7 or the 4. But as it is, he's left a half and half shot here. It's one of those shots you don't like. I mean, there's pockets for the 1 ball to go into, but it's difficult to pick the line. Especially also when he's got to work out how to stay for the 2. And he played a great shot there. Got nicely on the 2. It was a tall order to do all of that and still pot the 1. Semi-pro not getting any running there. The gap, I think he can get in that gap. Well, there's still a lifeline here for semi-pro because you can see the 4 ball isn't set to go anywhere. There is a sort of combo there on the 4-7, but you've got to get this right. I mean, if you were going to play a combo in the 4-7 and the cue balls here, you'd have to push the 4 to the rail to chip the 7 in. And Spectre Dawn's going to have to do the same thing, I think. Yeah, he's played it well. Well, this might go all the way, this match. Because it's about to be all level again. This time Spectre Dawn breaking. And looking for a shot. A ball and a shot. That's all you ask. No joy, I think. Oh, the yawning started really badly. Well, that coffee sort of woke me up for 30 seconds, but I'm afraid I need a lot more than caffeine to keep my eyes open. Well, I've no doubt Spectre Dawn's going for this, even just to pot it. And if he comes back up the table here, he will have a shot in the 2. And as long as it just goes up far enough, that'll be very nice. Doesn't need to worry a lot about the cue ball. 3 ball right over the top right, so you don't have to worry about that. All you have to worry about is that you've got a nice line to get back out for that 4 ball. And he's got that. Now, you don't want to be hampered by the 6. And I think he's okay. Looks like a long 5 ball to me. And that'll do. The angle he's got in the 5 there's fine. Because you can just stun out into the table, take the 6 into the corner pocket that he's queuing over at the moment. He's actually stunned that too much. If he had just rolled it in, he would have had a much better line on this 6 ball. This is testy. But he played it, no problem. So Spectre Dawn now looks a very strong favourite to be 1 away from the final. And you'll have the break. Like I said earlier, this could go all the way. It still could very likely go all the way. All depends on the break. Well, he's got a ball. He's got 2 balls. The 2 and the 3 have gone. He's got a very thin cut in the 1. But it will go. But the cue ball's running. Now, I think is he going for the cut? It looks as if he's going for the cut. And that was very well played. It was not easy. Oh, and he's got a nice line in this 4 as well to get on the 5. Oh, he's hit the 9. He's missed the 5 though, and that will do very nicely. The only thing he couldn't rely on there was how thick the contact would be. But it all worked out nice. And it will be Spectre Dawn through to tonight's final unless a complete disaster happens in the next 30 seconds. Because that's the only thing that can stop him. And he's going to have to, I think he's going to have to run the cue ball a wee bit here. Yeah, needs to keep running. And that will do. And so Spectre Dawn is the first of tonight's finalists. He has won through against Semi-Pro by 7 racks to 5 after being 3-1 down at the start. And meanwhile, over on that 1-loss side, we can see that Larry and Sergeresh are going at it to see who plays Semi-Pro. Spectre Dawn's gone for a bathroom break or a coffee, and we'll jump in and watch the remainder of this match with Larry and Sergeresh. And Sergeresh is getting the 6 ball. And if he gets a nice roll on the cue ball, he's going to find himself 3-1 up and on the brink. And so Larry now is in last chance saloon. And Sergresh is potting balls all over the place. The 6 ball is one of them. It's going to come up because that's one of his money balls. And he can billiard the 8 in. That won't win him the match because Sergresh has only got the 6 ball. This isn't 6 and out. Well, he's banked to 1. It doesn't matter how they go into the holes as long as they go in. Well, another good shot in the 3. And Sergresh isn't hanging around here. This match should be all over. Now, he's going to have to, though, get out onto this 6 ball. Well, at the beginning of the match, you found yourself 3-1 up semi-pro when you shouldn't have been. In fact, I was surprised that that you ended up being 3-1 up at the very start. Well, anyway, Sergresh has breezed through there. We just saw enough of it. And he certainly got used to that 6 ball money ball. 4 racks to 1, he's beaten Larry. And so now, Sergresh has now gone through to face semi-pro. Semi-pro trying to get revenge on Spectre Dawn, waiting in the final. But he's going to have to overcome a money ball handicap against Sergresh. And we've seen that Sergresh will make the use of that given the chance. So the room is up, 2 players are in, and this is tonight's semi-final. And Friday night 9 ball, race to 4 to see who plays Spectre Dawn in the final, which is a race to 9. And Sergresh has won the lag. Sergresh is now getting the 5 ball against semi-pro. That's even worse. Well, depends who you are. It's worse for semi-pro. It's great for Sergresh if he can get that chance. And we saw that he got those, well, what we did see, although we didn't see much. But the chances that Sergresh got in the remainder of that match with Larry, he took care of them. Cue ball. So, semi-pro, first in with ball in hand. And, well, there's a problem from the 4 to the 5 ball. That's the issue. And the other problem is where he's finishing the 2, because that's nowhere near anywhere good to be playing this 2 ball from. Well, big distance to travel. And that's going to finish in the bottom side of the 3. Little bounce. But he's got a shot. And if he can get on this 4 and finish top side of that 5, somewhere near the 6 ball or the 9, he'll be able to push the 5 down into this bottom right hand corner pocket for the rack. That's easy enough to say, but how easy enough is it to do it? Well, that has to keep rolling. I think the pace is good enough. Or is it? I don't think he's got there. Or has he? He might have enough there. He might just have enough. Oh, it just got in and a little chip on the 6. And this has all worked out perfect here for Sergresh, this first rack. One ball. Where's the cue ball? Oh, he's got a thin one. Oh, you've got to play this with pace to get that 2 ball moving. Well, it's going to end up sort of no man's land in a 3 ball. But it will cut. I mean, it's into a blind pocket, bottom right or top right as we look, but it should be on the 4. I mean, this is go all out for the win here. And as long as he doesn't hook himself behind that 5, as long as he doesn't hook himself, well, he's just sneaked out. And now it's just a 4 and 5 ball rack here. That needs to slow up. Well, again, this is very, very dicey. It's thin. You've got to avoid the scratch in the corner. He's got to draw off this. And it's there. And all of a sudden, a 5-ball money ball seems very, very generous when you've got somebody that can pop balls, making the most of it. And Sergresh is on a roll. The 6-ball is gone. He's plumb on the 1. The 2 goes, I think, just squeezes past the 8. But it may well even just go in off the 8. And clean as a whistle. Well, this is going to be a wee bit more testy. But the cue ball's heading in the right direction for this 4-ball down into this corner pocket. If he rolls in the 3, and he has done. And now it's going to be a 5-8 combo. And he wants to leave this as straight as he can, because he doesn't want the 5-ball to leak away. And that will do very nicely. Nice and gentle to keep the 5-ball there or thereabouts. And it's gone in. And suddenly it's 3-0. Oh, the cue ball's just... And that might be a lifeline for semi-pro. The 1 ball just brushed onto the cue ball. And semi-pro in last chance saloon as well. At 3-0 down. Suddenly has ball in hand. With a chance to at least stay in the match for 1 more rack. If he can take this out. Doesn't want to go too close to the rail. Now the simple shot is just to roll this in, but the problem is the harder you play it, the further up towards the 4 it goes. And the tighter the angle, you have to play the cut. And now that 8-ball as well needs checking. It's just off the rail. Well, this is going to be a draw. Dangerous to go near the middle pocket. He's avoided that. And now he's got a nice little drop along the rail. So semi-pro has the match in his own hands here because he's off the mark. He's trailing by 2. It's only a race to 4 and he's got the break. And the ball has gone. And what was it? The 5-ball. He's got a thin cut in the 1. And he should be on the 2. Now let's have a quick look. I think semi-pro was a quick look because the 4-ball is certainly cuttable. If you're sitting anywhere up this way. Well, at least it looks like it is. Well, we're going to find out, I would think, in about a minute's time. he needs to miss the 6, because that might ruin it. And it has done. And he's going to have to just roll onto this 4 ball so that he doesn't move anything. Well, he has done. He's opened up the game. So everything's in play, and it's all hinging on the 4 ball. Well, of course, the one thing to semi-pro's advantage is that Sergresh's money ball has gone. The 5 ball is in a pocket somewhere, and Sergresh is going to have to take them all out to win this match at this particular rack. And semi-pro will have his chance. Sergresh has pushed the 4 over the hole. Quick check in the 9. The 9 ball is comfortably off the rail. Oh dear. So, semi-pro again with the break, looking to tie up the match and go all the way. Well, if that 1 ball, no it doesn't, I was going to say if it passes the 3, but the break's dry, but Sergresh doesn't have a shot. But look at the table, every ball completely isolated, all wide open. And as far as semi-pro is concerned, if he has a shot in this 1, he's going to be taking it out. Sergresh went for a very ambitious combo there, and he may well have got away with it. He has done. Semi-pro going to kick this, or is he going to try and jump over the edge of the 3 and cut the 1 in at that distance? That's the issue. And he's just looking to keep it safe, which was the right shot. Well, I think with this shot, you can't be going up the table with the 1 ball. You've got to keep that cue ball at distance somehow or other. Well, that will do. That's run out perfect there for Sergresh, and that's got semi-pro over the barrel. And I don't know what semi-pro tried here, but it certainly, he didn't get a hit. It went straight into the pocket, so Sergresh will never have as good an opportunity as this with all the layout of this table. So just the 3, the 4 and the 5 to go through to tonight's final. Well, it'd need to be a complete failure not to roll this in. So Sergresh making use of that 5-ball money ball, and he goes through in tonight's semi-final, beating semi-pro by 4 racks to 2, and that shows he's well capable of making use of what he gets, especially in the match against Spectre Dawn, which probably be a similar handicap, I would think. So there we are. Sergresh goes through. So tonight's final for Friday Night 9-ball, and for the winner, they will get 700 and whatever it is dollars, $. It's going to be between Spectre Dawn and Sergresh. Race to 9. We'll get ourselves in. I'll have a quick drink. That's the trouble. In a race, such a short race to 4, when you're giving somebody the 5-ball, it's not just giving anybody to the 5-ball. You know, somebody who can make use of it and pot a few balls. It's not a big ask for them if they can pot balls. And they've got a rough idea of what they're doing. It's a very strong likelihood that they're going to get to that 5-ball more often than not. So we're just waiting on Spectre Dawn joining us. We'll have the lag. And here we go. And Sergresh has won that. And, well, this time, not quite as generous. It's the 6-ball that Sergresh is getting. And straight from the break, he scratched with the cue ball. And Spectre Dawn. Well, his problem ball's the 3, and that's just simply getting from the 2 onto the 3 up the, to shoot it up the table, or he's got a fairly straightforward 3-5 combo. So, well, it looks as if it's going to be the 3-5, I would think. So we're in tonight's final. It started, and we're still short of 3 hours. 2 hours and 54 minutes we've been up and running for, or give or take a minute or two. The 4-ball doesn't go into the middle, but the 4-8 combo certainly does. He just has to hope the 4-ball doesn't go dead on the rail. Well, it's gone in as well. And that's now left him with a testy 6-ball. And got to finish short on the 7. Doesn't want to go below this 7-ball. And he's fine. Well, anywhere in the table, he's bound to have a shot in the 9. Anywhere around the middle of the table. It needs to just keep rolling though. That'll do. Well, Sergresh getting a lesson there. In the first rack, Sergresh broke off, scratched on the break, gave ball in hand to Spectre Dawn, and the rest is immaterial. If the balls are all in the open, he's going to run them out. And I suppose, even though Sergresh is getting that 6-ball, Sergresh has got to respond, given the chance himself if he gets a shot. But once again, This time the safety hasn't worked, and they are all available. And Sergresh might be getting lesson number 2 here. And so far, in the first 2 racks, Sergresh has 2 shots. One was a break and a scratch. The other one was not a great safety, shall we say. And in between times, Spectre Dawn has ran the first rack because of the first mistake, the scratch. But Spectre Dawn's now ran into trouble. And he's going to have to jump this one. Good evening to Mooncake. I think you're the only one that's left. I think everybody's gone to bed. I know I've gone to bed. I'm only here in spirit. I'm not here in the flesh. My brain went to bed an hour ago. But this is the final. And Sergresh is going to be all square here within a minute. Just a 6 ball to square the match. Ah, there's 2 people here. Cue ball. Well, that's twice. Sergresh has had 2 breaks, both of them scratches. And what's more, he's emptying the table of balls. Although one of them was his money ball, it's come back up. And again, Spectre Dawn has ball in hand. So if I was Sergresh, I'd be trying something different in the break. The one thing I would be trying would be not putting the cue ball into a hole. That's of paramount importance in the break. But again, Spectre Dawn has found a way to get himself in trouble. And no doubt he's resorting to Old Faithful. This is where you have to ride your luck. He's going to collide with a 5 and hope he still has a shot, which he has done. He's got a shot. Now he needs to dig into this, I think, and just sort of stun draw this, unless he wants to come straight back to the rail. No, he's played the stun. And another one where you just want to pot this plain ball, roll through off the rail and come up. You don't need to do anything. But you don't want to go too high, where you're now having to hold the cue ball or make a big decision and let it run. And he's trying to drag the pace off it, and that's why he's missed the 7. And of course now Sergresh has a chance, but he's got to pot all 3 of these. And he needed to play that a lot more gentle than that. And we're seeing players just struggling with the sort of the gentle pace shot. The ball's running that wee bit more than they're used to. It's only slightly, but it does make a difference. And Sergresh, there's no way in this world he should not have been out there. It all came down from that poor shot in the 7. Hitting it far too heavy. And where he should have been 2-1 up, he's going to find himself 2-1 behind. Cannot afford to do stuff like that. Again, lots of movement in the balls, but no joy for Spectre Dawn, and no joy either as far as a shot for Sergresh. He's going to have to push. Yeah, the tables have speeded up slightly. They were speeded up a bit more than what they are now. Steve put it up and then toned it down a wee bit, but there's a wee bit more off the rails as well, or however way you want to describe it, a wee bit more fizz off the rails. But as I say, that shot that Sergaresh had on was it the 7 ball, hit it far too heavy, and it was it was a gimme. It was a gimme out there. Let's be honest, pretty much a gimme, and he threw it away. Well, now he's got a chance to redeem himself for that. Now, got to just be careful here he doesn't do something daft like roll through and catch the middle pocket and drop in. I don't know whether the line's quite enough that would take him there, but it takes him dangerously close to it. Yeah, he's fine. He's content just to keep it high. Well, he's most certainly going to be all square. Oh dear, dear. Well, he had the 5 ball against Semi-Pro in that semi-final match, and that again. I thought he'd get something the same against Spectre Dawn. He's actually getting a 6 ball, but he's well capable of making use of those, as we've seen. But he's just done like most of us did the odd bad shot. I mean, he could be 4-1 up at the moment. Sergaresh. That's the one thing he wants to get out of his head. He could have been 4-1 up. Blew away a chance that he had known that previous rack. Spectre Dawn looking to regain the lead here. He's a good one off this too. See, the problem with this is the angle he's got, if he's drawn off it, which he is doing, means he could draw in towards the 4 and 9, depending on how much he gets into this cue ball. He's going forward, or he's looking as if he is, but he's brushed off the 6. See, that was doomed for something daft to happen. And if he had tried to draw, where the hell is this thing? Hang on a minute. If he tried to draw there, the cue ball was drawn in a sort of direction like this, where he could end up running into those 2 balls. So he went in a run through, but you've got an adjacent ball. He's brushed off the 6, scratched, and given Sergaresh a free go. And if he can get sight of this 6 ball from this 5, which he has done, he's going to have the lead. Aye, but again, if you find yourself on the 1 loss side with races to 4 against guys that you're giving the 5 ball to, you're always going to have the odds against you. It's and if you bump into players like Sergaresh who can pop balls, it's a tall order. It means that any time you're at the table, you should be running out, or you should have him. I'll say that again. You should have him locked up so he doesn't have a shot. It's a tough ask to keep doing that most of the night if you end up in the 1 loss side early on. But Sergaresh Well, he's got the 3 ball and the 4 ball's tight to this side rail. He's missed the 3 anyway, but that 4 ball's not frozen, but it's not good. You've got to get good on it. Spectre Dawn certainly will be reasonably good on it. But he doesn't want to push this off the rail, because if it clips that 7 ball, it won't go in. There's plenty of room past the 7, but he needs to keep this really flush. And he has done. And what's more, he's got it perfect in the 5. And the other issue now is the 6. Now, how does he want to play the 6? Does he want to get right over on the short side of this, do you think? Because look at the angle he's got in the 5. He's not got much to work with here. Very little to work with. Well, I can't. I mean, he's really got to fizz this cue ball if he's going to try and get near it. But looking at what he's done, having left the cue ball there, he's got a combo that's nowhere near lined up at all. So I can only think that he's looking for the. Oh, he's played the little combo. That was excellent. That was not easy. Again, just double check the 7, because this has just got to keep tight. So we're 3 racks all. Race to 9. And Sergresh getting a 6 ball, which means that you're always in the match with that kind of handicap. The break is dry, and Sergresh, I don't think there's quite enough of that 1 ball, is there? I'm not convinced. Yeah, there wasn't enough. I can't understand it. Every time I have a drink of my water, I get the hiccups. And for years, when people have had the hiccups, they sometimes take a drink of water to get rid of them. With me, it's opposite. I don't have the hiccups. I drink some water out my bottle and then I have the hiccups. Somebody explain that one to me. So a quick reminder for any latecomers that may have arrived. As was earlier announced, the next Virtual World Championship will be 8 ball world rules. It will be on the 10-footer table and there will be no jump cues. 20-second shot clock and 2 15-second extensions. And I think it's, what did we say, a race to 9 on the winner's side, race to 7 on the 1 loss side, and a race to 13 in the final. And the sign-ups may well be opened in a couple of days' time, I don't know. Spectre Dawn in the lead, but not. Oh, where's the cue ball gone? And he's scratched. And look at this table. Sergeresh has the ball in hand for a free go. Maybe a wee bit more pressure in this because he's having to take these to stay with Spectre Dawn to get it back all square, and I think that nudging the four might have killed his opportunity here, because he's killed the four ball. That could have just ruined his chances of getting to the 6 and out here. Well, he's played for a little nudge, and that has worked out very nicely, but he's now got another problem. The problem is he's inside the 4, so he's running over towards the 5 where he should have a shot, but he has to get the pace right, and you see he's gone too far, and these are always really tough. A cut back, a blind shot, pocket shot, he's guaranteed to be on the 6. Or a cut into the middle. It's one of those in-between shots I spoke about. You can go either here or there, but none of them are easy, and that's an excellent shot. And it's definitely all square. And the 2, the 7, the 8, and a cut back in the 1 for Sergeresh. Now I think he needs a bit of luck here if he can get in the gap. And that's the danger. He's actually drawn it into the pocket there, trying to avoid a collision, but he didn't get into it enough. And that chance has come and gone in the blink of an eye. Inspector Don will be relieved. Well, I think with this shot here, depending on what he does with the cue ball, if he lets it run down the left side, he's going to have to run tight to the 6 and low in the 6, sort of like that, so he has a shot. But he's looking to get around and into the table, but he might have hit it too hard. And he certainly has done. He wanted to finish a bit here, and he's gone up to the bedhead zone. And that's how you miss them, because you can't keep going to the well with shots like that. They're not easy. And neither is this for Sergeresh. He might be going for the bank or the cut, but this to take the lead, and that's a good one. Look at the 9 ball. Two ball in the break, 1 onto the 9, and he's not got the line. Never easy. Again, it was a blind pocket shot, but he certainly had to make sure he moved the 9 one way or another. Into the hole would have been ideal, but I don't think, well, again, this is not perfect in the 3, but is it going to stop Spectre Dawn from tying the match up again? Well, Spectre Dawn, I think, is taking his eye off the ball there. He was thinking about the collision with the 8, and he's completely forgotten about the 4 ball. And this is falling into Sergeresh's hands here. because he's now got a golden opportunity to open up a gap, but this is not in the hole. This is testy, this. Got to watch that middle knuckle there. Like that. Because the commentator's eye's never wrong. And the chance has come and gone. Well, the water I'm drinking is not. I don't like carbonated water. But it's weird. I mean, I'm fine now. I mean, but I have a drink, and the next thing you know, I've got the hiccups. Well, I have been known to be said I'm full of wind. Most of that escapes, so it has to be said. Well, Sergeresh pushing the boat out. Going for the bank in the 1. Spectre Dawn can't avoid colliding with the 3 and the 8. But is he going to have a shot in the 2? And the answer to that is no. And Sergeresh better be ready to pounce again here, because he had a chance last rack to open that gap. That's been taken away from him. He might have a chance here in a second or 2. And then again, he might not, because that is a good result for Spectre Dawn. And I don't think that was too shabby either by Sergeresh. Not a difficult hit. And Spectre Dawn, believe me, was trying to cut that into the pocket there. But it has stayed in play, and it is a chance. And it can't be thrown away though. Even though you're getting the 6 ball, you've still got the balls leading to the 6 ball. How's that ended up? Slight angle. He doesn't really need to do an awful lot with the cue ball. He's going to be playing the 5 long here. But the only danger with this is he might find he's right on top of the 6 ball. Well, the little kiss on the edge has worked out nice. He was certainly going to be coming close to the 6. Well, there's a lot of players don't play safe, period. It's what I say about, becoming a better player. You have to be, it's a phrase I use a lot of the time, you have to be more than one-dimensional. There's an awful lot of one-dimensional players in VP4, and most of them are the players that are making up the numbers in tournaments most weeks. Who they've got no armoury with them at all. It's how you become a better player, because they don't have a thought process that allows them to play the game to any decent standard. That's their failing. for a lot of players, and the thought process has to be the same all the time. You study the table, the lay of the balls, what shot am I playing, and if I don't have a shot, what am I doing to make sure my opponent doesn't have a shot, all of that stuff. But the big factor also is learning how to manoeuvre the cue ball. There's loads of factors, but if you're one-dimensional, and that is you don't have any semblance of what you're doing, then you're just going to be an also-ran. You're just going to make up the numbers every time you're playing. You have to do and improve yourself and make yourself competitive, and to do that you've got to learn the game. You've got to have a strategy, you've got to have common sense, and you've got to have all those factors employed every time you play the game. If you don't have any idea of doing that, then you'll only ever just come in and knock balls about and just rely on a handicap and getting lucky all the time. I mean, you see players like, well, Rez is one player, that chase one around guy. I mean, there's all these guys, and if you ever speak to them, most of them will say to you, oh, I'm just having fun. So they don't have any ambitions to make themselves a better player. Or if they do, they're not watching enough of this tournament. They're not listening to what advice they're getting, if any, and they don't take it on board. And that's why they remain the same level player for all the time they'll play Virtual Pool 4. Not only that, but probably in real life as well, if they play in a real table. Because you're not telling me that these players play on a real table and have played regularly over the years, and they haven't learned anything that they can bring to this game. Because it works both ways. If you've got long-term experience and you've played pool, or billiards or snooker, whatever it might be, then you've got that knowledge that you can take with you into Virtual Pool 4. And there's quite clearly a lot of players have never played in real life, or if they have done, they've learnt nothing. That's the only conclusion I can come to. But it is like going to school. You have to be willing to learn. If you sit there, picking your nose and looking out the window, you ain't going to learn anything. And if you don't go onto YouTube and you don't look at matches, or you don't look at tutorial videos, and you don't do the tutorial in Virtual Pool offline, which is a reasonable enough starting ground for new players, then, as I say, you won't help yourself. But anyway, we've got a game on. It's 6 racks all. Spectre Don's taking a break. I'll take another drink before I start going into a coughing fit. Good evening to Jack Keynes. I've never seen, if I have seen that name on the stream, I don't remember it. I'll have a cough, hang on a minute. I mean, as I say, I mostly play Cowboy in the mornings on my day off. And there's a bunch of us play. And out of the bunches that plays in the mornings, and we play doubles. And when you're playing cowboy, you've only got 4 balls on the table. You've got the 3 balls you're working with in the cue ball. And we're playing in a 10-footer, and you're playing alternate, which is, well, we're playing Scottish doubles, but the alternate part is that you're potting a ball, and then your incoming player, your partner, has to carom the next ball. You'd be amazed at, even with just that few balls on the table, how many of those players that do play in the morning don't think about the next shot. That is to say, if you're playing the pot and you're potting the ball, first of all, you have to think, well, where's the ball spot, and you have to know what end of the table you're at, and where the ball's in the spot, and where the other adjacent balls are. And how can you make it easy for your partner to get the next shot, which is a carom? And you'll be surprised at how these players, and I'm not naming names, but these players do it all the time. And that's the basic functionality of cowboy is, when you're playing Scottish doubles, you have to pot the ball if you're playing the pot, or even if you're the one that's playing the carom. If you're playing the carom, do you just play the carom to bang into the other ball, or do you think about playing the carom so that you're pushing that other ball on to at least leave your partner an easy pot? That's probably the simplest example of where the thinking process fails to work in a lot of players. Excuse me. I think my throat's going dry. It's just a simple, basic thing that you have to be doing every time, each and every time you're at the table. And what probably annoys me most is having to watch these players, seeing them in Friday night 9-ball, and doing the same thing every time. When you watch, I mean, half of these guys that are playing in rooms, I mean, they would do themselves a big favour if they watch Friday night 9-ball and watch what certain players are doing, how to get to that next ball, and watch and learn. But they don't do it. Cue ball. Well, Sergaresh getting himself back all square, and then the big cardinal sin. Scratching the break. I used to play cowboy. And what's his name? Ali would come on. What's Ali's name again? The guy from Egypt. And Ali had only one way of playing. And that was to bang the hell out of the ball every time he hit it. If I told him to play a soft shot, he only ever had one pace. So in the end I got in team... was it TeamSpeak at the time? I can't remember. So that I could actually bloody talk to him, to get him to start thinking about what he's doing. And half the time, players don't see a certain shot. You know. And in cowboy as well, players are at fault a lot of the time because they don't use the rails. a lot of players try to stun to a ball or draw to a ball. And sometimes players don't see that there's a natural angle to go from one ball to another. They start putting loads of spin on it when they don't need to. I mean, I'm no expert at Cowboy. There are better players than me at the game, but there's a lot of players that could be a lot better if they just thought. Cue ball. Well, this still could go all the way, this final, because nobody wants to win it the way it's going. And in the end, I had to get off of Discord with Ali because he was driving me mad. My blood pressure was going up. Oh, I can't see the edge of a ball. Well, there's a failure there by Spectre Dawn. Big time. Big mistake. Excuse me. Well, that could be a big mistake. I think the voice is going, guys. I don't think we've got long left, and neither do I. And if Sergeresh takes care of business here, it will be all over. But that 6 ball is a lifeline. Oh, this could end up nice. And it's all over. I think I'm barely going to hold out here. Excuse me. Sergeresh is 1 out, 9-7. And he wins, what the hell did he win? 735 $735 and 370, I think that is, to Spectre Dawn. So that is it, folks. Hopefully my voice will recover. I am off next week. So we'll be back for next week's Friday Night 9-ball if I've still got a voice. So until then, take care, stay safe, and I'll bid you good night.